Pittsburgh. Ah, Pittsburgh. This city means a lot to a lot of people, and it certainly means a lot to me.
It's the Steel City, it's football, Andy Warhol, and it's pride. A whole lot of pride. But this town is also about rebirth. Today there's a new Pittsburgh, a city being reinvented by a locavore spirit. So I found it only fitting to come here in the spring, a time of growth and renewal.
And the perfect symbol of this? The humble ramp.
That's right, ramps, one of the season's first vegetables. And wow, are they delicious. So delicious, in fact, that I am standing in the woods 70 miles outside of my hometown to hunt these little guys down. Meet brothers Kevin and Tom, Pittsburgh natives and all-star foragers. Together they run Wild Purveyors, a company dedicated to pairing local chefs with Western Pennsylvania's best farmstead and foraged ingredients. Along with their dog Lexi, they guide us deep into the woods to capture spring's first treasures.
Lexi knows where she's going, huh?
She can smell the ramp.
So these are ramps?
These are ramps. It's one of the first wild plants to come up that comes up abundantly and is available for foraging. And so right now I'm kind of looking for a good spot for you to get some good sized ones. That's kind of the thing too about picking the ramps, so you kind of have to keep moving around. You don't want to just wipe a whole area clean.
So you try to cover some ground.
Right.
You brought me one.
Yeah.
Yay! How do you choose which ones you're gonna harvest here?
Just kind of by the size of the leaves. These are pretty good.
Okay.
So you're just gonna kind of like get your fingers in here and kind of run it down into the soil to where you feel the bulb, and then put this down next to it.
Oh, I feel the base of the bulb.
Okay, so you want to get the tines down.
Okay.
When you get under it, pop it up.
Oh, it's hard.
Yeah,
it's not that easy, is it?
Those roots are in there good. If you get the tool in there just right, you can actually pop it up with like 90% of the bulb, and that's like the best possible result of picking them, because that root block is going to still stay in there, and the likelihood that it's going to regenerate is much higher.
I told my grandma I would pick some for her. She's never had them.
There you go.
I got one.
Yeah, so then you just strip it down, pull, there you go.
Oh.
Excellent. That's a beautiful ramp.
Beautiful ramp,
That's
ready to go.
That's a beautiful ramp.
Yep. It takes 7 years for a ramp to grow from seed to full maturity.
I can't believe that, 7 years.
There's a bunch of places that we know of that ramps grow, but we try and stick with these types of patches that are this size, that I mean literally are going across probably 10 acres right here at least.
I mean, here it doesn't even look like you could deplete the population no matter how hard you tried.
Right, but with the fact that it has such a long turnaround time, you really have to be careful about how much you take. And with the popularity in the culinary world right now, there's real potential danger for wiping it out. One nice thing about this patch is that it's on private property that we have permission to forage on, and there's not a whole lot of people coming here.
Right.
You know, so we can manage it sustainably.
An hour drive back into Pittsburgh, and the next stop is Salt of the Earth, where Chef Kevin Sousa is changing the face of Pittsburgh cuisine, one innovative dish at a time.
I wanted to do something that was decidedly different from what was available in Pittsburgh. Communal tables, good music, chalkboard menu, open kitchen, come as you are, relax. And so that's what we did. We're doing our best to use what's available in its prime and just give the farmers what they need to hopefully produce a bigger season next year for themselves and for other chefs.
So someone that hasn't had a ramp before, what is the flavor like?
A raw ramp is really funky.
Yeah?
It's garlicky and oniony. I mean, it's a wild leek or a wild onion. They're called a lot of different things.
These are the ramps, huh?
Yes,
What part of this do you eat?
all of it.
Okay.
All the way to the roots. And it's easy to pickle them. You can do any number of things. You can make ramp oil, you can make ramp puree, ramp pesto.
The ramp possibilities are endless.
They are kind of endless. You treat it like an onion. Anything that you do with an onion or a green onion or garlic, you can do with a ramp. So today, we're gonna put together our spring salad. We have some English peas, sous vide fava beans, these beautiful tricolor carrots, some fresh local potatoes, some pickled morels, some pickled fiddlehead ferns. These are our grilled ramps.
And how long do you grill those ramps for?
30 seconds on each side. Just put them on, let them wilt, flip them, and then pull them off.
Just like grilling a scallion?
Yeah, exactly. So a little bit of grapeseed oil, a little bit of lemon oil, the pickled ramp cloves. We season the salad with kosher salt, Espelette pepper, some sherry vinegar.
It is so beautiful.
And that's kind of the idea. If you're gonna call a dish spring, it better make you feel like it's spring.
I mean, it really does. It's spring in a bowl.
And then this is mint water. It's kind of nondescript. It's not a huge part of the plate. You don't really see it, but as you're eating it, you're like, oh, it's nice and fresh and light. And then these are the beautiful upland cress from half a mile up the road. Very peppery, and it's really nice. And then the fried ramp cloves. These are freeze-dried peas and edamame. some feta cheese puree, which is made from the paradise feta, and then French breakfast radishes.
I mean, it's so beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Not to be like a chefy douche, but if I were eating this, I would go all in with like a finger.
Well, I'll go in with my fingers too then. This isn't very ladylike of me. Oh my God.
The greens are so good.
That is so good. Mmm.
And it's simple. We just treat the vegetables with respect and then we put them on a plate.
Now that we've had ramps 3 ways in a salad, we're gonna saute them for a quick and easy scramble perfect for breakfast, lunch, or even dinner. So the first thing I'm gonna do is heat a little bit of butter and olive oil in a pan over medium heat while I prep my vegetables. So I have about a cup of chopped oyster mushrooms here, and to that I'm gonna add 1/3 pound of asparagus. Now this is purple asparagus. It's a little bit sweeter than a green asparagus, but if you can't find this, just use the regular stuff. Just chop off the bottoms, those tend to be a little tough. I'm gonna slice these on the bias or diagonally because I think it looks really pretty. All right, so now it's time for the ramps. I'm gonna separate the leaves right now. We're gonna save those for later. So now I just need to chop up the ramps. If ramps aren't local to you and you can't find them, you can totally substitute scallions for this dish. All right, so my oil's nice and hot. It's time to saute the veggies. Let's do a pinch of salt and a crack of black pepper. And so we wanna let these saute for about 5 minutes until they're nice and tender. Meanwhile, I'm gonna whip up my eggs. We're gonna use 4 eggs here. It's a perfect dish for 2 people. And I always like to add a little splash of milk to my eggs. Okay, so my eggs are combined, my vegetables are almost done. The last thing I have to do is add the ramp leaves. So we're just gonna roll these up and chiffonade them just like you would do basil. All right, to the pan. Give it a nice stir. So you just want to saute the leaves for about a minute. You want them to wilt, not really burn. All right, time for the eggs. Now I'm gonna let this sit for just a second as the bottom sets a little bit, and then I'm gonna go in and scramble. And don't forget a little bit of salt and pepper. It's always good to season every step of the way. So this is looking perfect. The last touch is some Parmesan cheese. Fresh grated right over the top. Stir that in a little bit. Garnish with a little extra Parmesan, and that's it. Thanks for watching this Pittsburgh edition of Hungry in Brooklyn. If you would like to see us feature an ingredient that's local to you, let us know. Visit hungryinbrooklyn.com or facebook.com/hungryinbrooklyn to get in touch. So good.